Hello my friends, John LaRuffa here with another straight up solo. And in this episode we are going to take a look at Shackleton Base, a journey to the moon. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you haven't, I really do appreciate that support. Thank you very, very much. Alright, so this game has a bunch of stuff going on because it is a sandbox kind of feel game. It says so on the back. I totally agree. Perfect way to describe it. So what you're doing is, first and foremost, when you set up the game, you're going to choose 3 of the 7 available companies to use in the game, which will be highly, it'll change what you're doing throughout the game heavily, okay? So depending on the type of company that, or the different companies you choose, it sets up an entire branch of actions and goals and things to do. And since there are 7 of them, you only use 3, a lot of different combinations that you can do. And so right here, I have it set up. And by the way, I'm kind of in like the last third of the game. The game's played in 3 rounds. And I have it set up with these companies here, which are the recommended beginning ones. So you've got, let's see, we've got the Artemis Tours, we've got Moon Mining, and we have Selenium Research in that order. And each different company is going to provide you with different actions you can take, different mechanics, different pieces that you interact with, etc. Okay? So for instance, this company right here is all about space tourism, and you're taking these space tourists, bringing them to your base, and then sending them on excursions, if you will. And those excursions get you different points, different rewards, and to accomplish the goals here, it depends on how many people you have out on an excursion at any given time. You can claim the goal at the end of your turn. And the nice thing about this game is this is a, I would say, like push your luck kind of risk-reward goal system. You can hold out for the higher ones if you want, but if somebody claims it beforehand, you won't get any of those points. You have to go for a lower one. So sometimes it's good to claim it early if you don't want to focus on it, but sometimes it's good to try to wait, try to beat the opponent to claiming that goal. And it just so happens that the way this game is played out, the opponent is literally ready to claim any of the top end goals or second to top end at any moment's notice. So I decided to claim these 2 a little bit earlier, and hopefully, although very unlikely, I would be getting things going from this corporation because I didn't really focus on it very much in this game. So what are you doing? So first of all, the game's, like I said, is played in 3 rounds, all right? And in the first part of the round, you are setting up, okay? And you set up by choosing one of these, ship modules, getting whatever the reward is up top, and then the 6 different workers you're going to work with throughout the game, throughout the round, and it determines turn order. And so the higher number, the more likely you are to go first. And in this game, this is my area right here. This area is what the bot is using to accomplish their turn, okay? So imagine the lines kind of divided right here. Then you're gonna take 6 actions with your different workers. And there's 3 areas that you can go to. The first area is to exploit, which will be a way for you to gain either resources, which are represented by these yellow hexagons here. And the 2 resources are basically metal and I can't remember what it is, space rocks or whatever. It's something. And you're going to use those to build different structures or to accomplish some things in the different corporations, or to even build solar power facilities in order to increase the energy, which you might need if you're going to try to build these facilities. All right, so anyway, exploiting for these minerals or going out and making money depending on the number of places that you put that are in line with where you put the worker, or activating these special company tiles. And I'll demonstrate that in a second. So that's the first type of thing you can do. The other thing you could do is you can take these facility actions here where you either build a facility, where you actually build, a structure. You build some type of facility in the structure, or you take 3 actions that are corporation actions, and those can be a lot of different things. They can be the actions on each of the corporations, which is basically how you're interacting with these directly. They can be actions on different facilities that you may have built. They can be actions on this reputation track. And then depending on which color worker you put on each of these spots, if you do a yellow, you get a bonus. If you do a red here, you get a bonus. If you do a blue here, you get a bonus. And then the last thing you can do is go to the this space over here, and that allows you to basically trade you drop off your worker here, you take a worker of a different color, and you put it on your player area, and then you get kind of like a small action here. And putting it on your player area will help you to get bonuses, generate income, score points at the end of the game, etc. So lots of different things going on in this game. And so there's a bunch to take in. Is it super complicated? I would say no, it is not. There's just like a lot of these other games that are sandbox games, there's just a lot of breadth to understand to be able to play, okay? And I'm not giving you the whole rule rundown. I'm just kind of going over the overview. So let me go ahead and demonstrate a couple of turns so you can see how it works. And in that, I will also demonstrate how the solo bot interacts with the board and what it does. So it happens that I am the first player right now, and I would like to try to build some more facilities if I can. But the problem is I have no metal, and I have no, whatever these 2 resources are, the metal and the other one. So I don't have that. So in order to go for the rare earth, that's what it is, titanium and rare earth, I need to put some guys out here to harvest those things, okay, to exploit. So I'm going to take a yellow worker. I'm going to do just that. I want to get the most bang for my buck, which would be here. However, the problem is I'm going to have to pay money to the bank for each of these areas that I don't have presence. And I have presence in this green one, but not these others. And so I could get a little bit of a cheaper situation if I went here, but I wouldn't get as many resources. But considering what I want to do and try to do, I am going to go here. This is going to cost me 1 credit for every space that I'm going to use that I cannot actually, that I don't have presence in. And so that's 1, 2, 3 credits that I have to pay. But I get to take 3 of the titanium. 1, 2, 3, oops, and a rare earth. Yep, so there we go. So that's my turn right there. And I will have an opportunity, if, depending on how it goes at the end, to get this worker into my area over here. Okay, so let's see what he's going to do. The automa is put into action by a deck of cards, and the steps are first to kind of deal with what you uncover over here on the top, and then do the first action on the revealed card that matches what they have. And they have all their different types of workers here, so it doesn't matter. We'll do the first one. So here we have a B and a B that match. That means that B is going to be my active corporation. And then it shows that anything it's going to try to do, if it has a presence on the map to do it, is going to start here and go in this direction. And then it shows, okay, I've got to move his marker forward on the B track for the company, and it triggers him claiming a goal. So he's going to go ahead and claim, in this case, the 2nd level goal, because he's moved to this spot. On the B track, he's going to get that right here, and this is the B corporation. He's going to score 8 points right away. So we'll move him up to 52, and he gets 50-pointer. All right, we'll just put this here for now. So then he's going to take his action. He wants to, if he can, play a blue worker on the blue space. And when he does that, he's going to take 3 corporation actions, okay? And he's going to do it A, B, and C order. So the first A is he's going to take this tourist, place it on this card, and these 3 cards, there's a easy and a hard version. And I'm playing with all the easy ones right now, but they are specific to the corporations that you set up. So he gets 1 point for placing it there. Then he wants to, that we are in section 6. So section 6 is off the board. So he wants to go to the highest one he can over here and claim this, which he will. So he blocks that from me. And then he gets 6 points for that. Puts it over here. And then he wants to claim this, one of these upgrade or research lab tiles, he'll get 6 points for it. Now, which one did he claim? Well, you look over here and you see, is it over here, is it over here, is it over here? That tells you which one of these he is going to get. And this arrow points over here to the left, meaning it's going to be this one right here. So he just takes it, we just discard it. Gets a new one over here, out here, and then he gains 6 more points. So as you can see, pretty easy to accomplish that turn. Now, what does he do? Does he get a bonus privilege? And I don't think there is a bonus privilege for him in his action when he does the blue one. Yes, it is. After resolving it entirely, Astro gains an astronaut from the Lunar Gateway. If able, chosen amongst these priorities, the astronaut whose type is least numerous in the base. So that would be red. So he would get a red one. And he would put the red one right here, I believe. I think that's how that works. Okay, so that's how his turn will go. Now, back to me. I could do a variety of things. I could try to build something. I could try to exploit some more. But I wanted to build one of these structures on the board if possible, okay? And what I'm thinking I'd like to do is, if I can, beef up and play another one of these right here. So I'll take this action. What I'm going to do is, it is the build facilities action. I'll put this right here. And I'm going to build this one. This is going to give me 3 credits instantly. And I have to spend 3 titanium and 1 rare earth. And I have to drop this energy requirement by 1. The energy requirement's important because it has to be at a certain level to be able to build these cards right here. Now, I can put this anywhere I want on the board that I don't already have presence and that has some power. And I just realized that at some point I did not put a power there. Because I want to try to get this guy at the end, I'm probably best suited by placing it here. And when I do that, I would then get to activate or place one of the corporation tiles, depending on whichever one I want, if there was a space here. Well, there is not a space, okay, because these 2 spaces are full. So I'm going to just activate. I'm going to get the helium one, and I will take a helium, which I'll use later to probably get this right here and score 6 points, okay? And so that was my bonus to be able to activate this because I used a yellow guy, all right? So my turn is over and it would go back to him. Now we're going to go back and forth until we've taken 6 turns, all right? And you know you've taken 6 turns once you exhaust, or once you've taken all of your guys, used all of your guys, okay? And that's how you do it. Now, when you're done with the turns, there's like a maintenance and a scoring phase and some upkeep and other things like that to consider, some reputation, and then you move on to the next round. And then for the final scoring, they go through a couple of different things, and there's a lot to it, but you're basically scoring for a variety of different things like you would in a Euro game. But just to go back and forth, this deck of cards is going to dictate exactly what the AI opponent's going to do, and you take your turn and vice versa. It plays really smoothly and actually pretty quick, to be honest. So that is a good overview. So again, if I was going to play again for him, all right, now I've got the C section. All right, C is going to be my active corporation. I would move this over here. Now he's going to score for the C goal. So C puts him in the second area right here. He would go ahead and get 8 more points. So he's doing well, and I'm not doing well. And then he would want to play a yellow worker. Well, he has a yellow worker. He doesn't have to pay the cost because he gets it for free. And then he'd want to build a building based on the priorities of what he can accomplish. Well, he's already built this big building, so you fall back to this one. He would try to build this, and he would build top to bottom, if I'm remembering correctly. And then he would build in a spot where he would try to get priority, if possible, to take any workers that were placed out here. In this case, he already has that pretty well locked up, and there's no place for him to go. He can't build this here because that space is already taken. You can't put it over in other spots. So he would then look at the card and say, okay, starting from this spot and going around, where else could I improve my position? And the way I understand or interpret it, it would be right here, okay? And then he would be able to place a corporation depending on which one was the active one, which is C. So he would take this right here and he would place it, again, according to the arrow and the way it goes around. So you place that there, all right? And that's kind of how it works. So it goes back and forth, it'll be my turn next, etc., until we do what we need to. And so there's a lot of things you can do. Now, I haven't really shown a lot of these cards over here, but the cards offer another complete avenue. They're unique decks. There's 9 cards for each different type of, or each different corporation. So, for instance, this one gives you an end game bonus or an ongoing bonus. It says gain $2 when you put a cargo on any of these spots that has at least 1 rare earth. So that can be helpful. This says when you when you build a corporation, do this action, pardon me, you may spend 1 rare earth to increase the energy level and gain 2 points, plus it's worth 5 at the end. So all these things are very unique. These let you send these tourist astronauts to different places to get different things and score different points or money or reputation, etc. Very, very different. And they do a really good job with the player aids for each of the corporations, telling you exactly everything you need to know for each of them. And they're on a standalone sheet, which makes it really easy to follow and look for questions when you're playing the game. So you've got those right there for all 7 of them. All right, so that's about the size of it. Let me go ahead and tell you what I think about it. So Shackleton Base is a game where there is a ton of cool content to explore. The fact that you mix the different corporations together to do different things and that you can put them in different combos and that there's 9 different cards per corporation and varying goals and everything else really, really lends itself to a very, very fulfilling, rich gaming experience. And also the fact that once you get going on the solo, there is a little bit of like prioritization stuff you have to understand. Where's you going to build? How's he going to do it? What's it going to make sense? A little bit of that, okay? But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. The solo plays really well and easily. You can focus on your strategy. The solo is competent. It definitely feels like you're playing against a real opponent. This game is just awesome. Just awesome. And I see why it's highly rated as it is. It does such a good job at the sandbox concept of being able to put together a game and just explore different strategies. You know, it's one of those games like all Euro games where even though you have lots of things you can do, you want to remain focused, you want to have a plan, you want to stick to that plan, and you want to be as strong as you can at that plan. And the game with the board prioritization, it's that area majority that will allow you to do things cheaper, that you set up different things on the board to help you out, really does play a nice part into that exploit mechanic, which I showed a little bit of. But I just love, there's so much variety in this box. I mean, I can see why it's so well regarded. It is a really, really fun game and something that you have a ton to get to know and to explore while playing it. I just love it. I really do. It is one of these games where it's a permanent keeper in the collection, but also one that I'm going to bring out over and over again throughout the years and be able to try all sorts of different things. It's not a game you see even a glimpse of what it has to offer in just a single game. So every time you play, there's something new you can do. There's something new you can explore. The different cards that come up that may very well change your strategy. They just really did a good job here. And so from a solo standpoint, for people who like sandbox style game, this is a no-brainer in my opinion. It really is. It's one you should definitely acquire, look to try, look to buy. For people who want to have a more, I'd say less overwhelming experience, because with the breadth, with any game with this kind of breadth, it can be very overwhelming. Be careful there, right? But at the same time, it doesn't feel overwhelming to play. It just, the first game is a bit rough. You know, you kind of set it up and you're kind of figuring it out and you're dabbling here and trying to see how that works there. And there's a lot of little things to get to understand. Once you understand it all, you realize it's all in front of you. It's printed on the board. It's on the player aids. You can do it. I do wish there was some summary player aid for the actual solo opponent. I mean, it's not the rules aren't bad, but there's just a ton of text of what to do, how to do it. It just could be summarized a little bit. I'll probably look for some summation, if maybe someone put something together, player aid, because that is lacking and it could be very helpful. But the solo mode itself is very well done. It doesn't feel super complex when you're actually trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. It's just a little crib sheet could help. Besides that, this is a great game to have in your collection if you like these sorts of things. Lots to consider, lots to explore, lots to have fun with, so I highly recommend it. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. And whatever you do in the future, I really hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy.